In just 3 years, Sam Bankman-Fried went from sleeping on a beanbag to becoming the face of crypto, but no one knew he was also building a financial time bomb. Sam Bankman-Fried, or SBF as he was known in the crypto world, was not your average billionaire. With his unkempt hair, casual shorts, and awkward demeanor, he didn't look like someone managing billions. Born in 1992 to 2 Stanford law professors, Sam was a math genius raised in a household that celebrated logic and academic achievement. After graduating from MIT, he worked at a Wall Street trading firm called Jane Street, where he learned the ropes of high-frequency trading. But Sam had a different dream. In 2017, he launched Alameda Research, a quantitative trading firm using a clever crypto arbitrage strategy, buying Bitcoin cheaper in the US and selling it higher in Japan. The gap, sometimes $1,000 per coin. This tactic reportedly earned him up to $20 million a day during peak times. He wasn't just playing crypto, he was bending the rules of global markets in real time. By 2019, Sam founded FTX, a crypto exchange designed for pro traders. He promised transparency, low fees, and advanced trading tools. Investors were dazzled. The platform exploded in popularity, bringing in billions in user deposits. Sam was suddenly everywhere. On the cover of Forbes, in Congress advocating for crypto regulation, and sitting beside world leaders at global summits. Celebrities like Tom Brady, Larry David, and Steph Curry were brought in as ambassadors. Even the Miami Heat's NBA arena was renamed FTX Arena. But behind the geeky charm and meteoric rise, something didn't feel right. Sam positioned himself as a benevolent billionaire, pledging to give away his entire fortune through a movement called effective altruism. He lived modestly, shared a penthouse with his inner circle in the Bahamas, and slept beside his computer. The media loved it, a quirky genius trying to save the world through crypto. But what if it was all just a carefully constructed mask? What if this tech messiah wasn't saving the world, but secretly siphoning its wealth? FTX wasn't just another crypto exchange. It was marketed as the most trusted, most advanced, and most ethical platform in the crypto space. Sam Bankman-Fried made sure of that. In interviews, he spoke passionately about building a safer financial system. While other exchanges suffered from outages, hacks, and scandals, FTX remained stable, fast, and reliable. It seemed like the future of finance, and the numbers backed it up. By 2021, FTX had become the second largest crypto exchange in the world, with over $20 billion in daily trading volume. Big names like Sequoia Capital, SoftBank, and Tiger Global poured in investments. At its peak, FTX was valued at $32 billion, and Sam was hailed as the JP Morgan of crypto. He pledged millions to political campaigns and donated heavily to pandemic relief and climate change initiatives. To the public, FTX looked like a fortress, but it was a carefully painted illusion. What the public didn't know was this: FTX was secretly funneling customer funds to Alameda Research. While users believed their money was sitting safely in their accounts, those funds were actually being used for risky bets, loans, and lavish investments through Sam's private trading firm. Sam had promised transparency. He claimed FTX didn't use customer assets without permission. He even tweeted, "FTX is fine. Assets are fine." That tweet would later become infamous. The truth was far darker. FTX didn't have proper accounting systems. Internal records were chaotic. Billions of dollars in customer assets were being moved with no oversight. Some employees reported that Sam even used a back door in FTX's code to secretly move funds without triggering alarms, and without any board of directors questioning him. It was a one-man empire, built on trust and deception, yet no one seemed to question it. Why? Because Sam was everywhere, giving TED Talks, posing with Bill Clinton and Tony Blair, and appearing on CNBC. He wasn't just running a business, he was creating a brand of morality. He convinced the world that FTX was different, and people believed it until it all started to unravel. While FTX was the face of trust in the crypto world, Alameda Research operated quietly in the shadows. It was supposed to be a separate company, just another trading firm, but in reality, it was the heartbeat of Sam Bankman-Fried's empire, and the key to understanding how the deception worked. The two companies were deeply intertwined. Alameda and FTX even shared the same office floor in the Bahamas. Employees often moved between the two firms, and the top executives were close friends, or in some cases, romantic partners. Sam claimed FTX had strong risk controls and that Alameda played by the rules like any other client, but that wasn't true. Alameda had special privileges on FTX. It could trade faster than other users. It was allowed to have negative balances, meaning it could borrow customer funds without restriction. And worst of all, FTX quietly loaned Alameda billions of dollars in user deposits. These weren't profits or investment funds. They were money that everyday people had deposited to buy, sell, and hold crypto. It was like a bank secretly gambling with customer savings, but without any government watchdog watching over it. Alameda used this money to make high-risk bets across the crypto market. It invested in failing projects, bought luxury properties, donated to political causes, and even used FTX's own token, FTT, as collateral. That's like borrowing money by using monopoly money as your guarantee. It worked until the market turned. In 2022, as crypto prices collapsed, Alameda's risky positions started bleeding money. Billions vanished. But instead of coming clean, Sam allegedly doubled down, propping up the house of cards by moving more user funds to plug holes. Insiders say there were internal warnings. Some employees questioned the accounting, but nothing changed. Sam and his inner circle believed they could survive the storm if they could just hold on a little longer. But the cracks were widening. Alameda was bleeding. FTX's balance sheet was a mess. And somewhere in that tangled web was a number that would soon change everything. A leak was about to expose the biggest lie in crypto. On November 2nd, 2022, the first tremor hit. A leaked balance sheet from Alameda Research was published by CoinDesk. It revealed that Alameda's largest asset was FTT, the token created by FTX itself. Worse, its debts were also backed by FTT. This wasn't just bad, it was a financial time bomb. The report sent shockwaves through the crypto world. Why was a major trading firm so dependent on a coin created by its sister company? And more importantly, were user funds being used to prop up both entities? That question set off a chain reaction. Just 5 days later, Changpeng Zhao, CZ, CEO of Binance and one of the biggest names in crypto, tweeted that Binance would sell all its holdings of FTT, worth over $500 million. He didn't trust FTX's balance sheet. That tweet sparked a bank run. In less than 72 hours, users tried to withdraw $6 billion from FTX, but FTX didn't have the money. Why? Because most of it was already gone, funneled into Alameda and used for bad bets, real estate, and God knows what else. Withdrawals froze, panic set in. Sam tweeted, "A competitor is trying to go after us with false rumors. FTX is fine, assets are fine." But it wasn't. That message would later be used in court as evidence of fraud. By November 11th, 2022, FTX filed for bankruptcy. Sam stepped down as CEO. Over 130 affiliated companies, including Alameda, went under. Overnight, $8 billion in customer funds were missing. Gone. Some people lost their life savings. Others watched helplessly as crypto markets collapsed. The Miami Heat tore down the FTX name from their arena. Celebrities like Tom Brady and Larry David were sued for endorsing FTX. Lawmakers demanded answers. Sam was no longer a crypto king. He was now the face of one of the biggest financial frauds since Enron. But even as the empire fell, one question remained. Was it all a mistake? Or was it a con from the very beginning? When FTX collapsed, it didn't just take down a company. What rattled the foundation of the entire crypto industry. Over 1 million users were affected. From college students investing their tuition money to retirees saving for their future, people watched their balances vanish. Some had hundreds of thousands stored in FTX, thinking it was the safest platform. In reality, their funds had already been funneled into Alameda's black hole months earlier. And it wasn't just retail investors. Huge institutions like Sequoia Capital, Temasek, and Ontario Teachers Pension Fund lost hundreds of millions. These were supposed to be smart money investors, yet even they were fooled by Sam's charisma and carefully crafted image. Sequoia even published a now deleted article calling Sam the next Warren Buffett. FTX's collapse triggered a domino effect. Other exchanges saw massive withdrawals. The crypto lending platform BlockFi filed for bankruptcy weeks later. Genesis, another major crypto lender, suspended operations. Confidence in the entire industry collapsed. Regulators pounced. US lawmakers who had once welcomed crypto innovation now called for strict regulation. Congressional hearings were held. Sam was invited to testify before Congress, but he never made it. Instead, on December 12th, 2022, Sam Bankman-Fried was arrested in the Bahamas at the request of US authorities. The charges? Wire fraud, securities fraud, money laundering, and campaign finance violations. It was clear now. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It wasn't a bad trade. It was fraud on a massive scale. But what made this different, and even more chilling, was how close it came to going undetected. Sam had been meeting with politicians, donating to campaigns, and shaping crypto policy, while orchestrating one of the largest financial scams in modern history. And even after his arrest, Sam denied he knowingly committed fraud. He appeared in interviews claiming he just messed up, but millions of victims weren't buying it. They wanted justice. And now the world was waiting for a trial that promised to expose everything. In October 2023, Sam Bankman-Fried stood in a New York courtroom, no longer the eccentric crypto genius, but a man facing decades behind bars. The US government charged him with 7 counts of fraud and conspiracy, and each came with mountains of evidence. But what shocked the world most was who turned against him. Caroline Ellison, former CEO of Alameda Research, and Sam's ex-girlfriend testified against him. So did Gary Wang, FTX co-founder and longtime friend. Both admitted their roles in the scheme and claimed Sam directed the entire operation. Caroline revealed how Alameda had unlimited access to FTX customer funds and how losses were hidden for months. She described secret group chats, fake balance sheets, and the pressure to keep the lie going. In her words, Sam set the rules. Sam made the calls. The prosecution painted a picture of deliberate deception, that Sam knowingly lied to customers, investors, and the public to keep the empire afloat. The defense tried to argue it was mismanagement, not malice, but emails, Slack messages, and testimonies told a different story. This wasn't a case of someone in over his head. This was a case of someone in total control, pulling strings while pretending to be the hero of crypto. On November 2nd, 2023, exactly 1 year after the leak that sparked FTX's collapse, the jury found Sam Bankman-Fried guilty on all counts. Maximum sentence, over 100 years in prison. His sentencing is scheduled for March 2024, where the court will decide how long the fallen crypto king will serve. Regardless of the number, the message was clear. Even in the world of digital finance, the truth eventually catches up. Sam Bankman-Fried sold a dream of safe crypto, of ethical finance, of changing the world for the better. But behind that dream was a lie that cost people billions and nearly destroyed an entire industry. FTX wasn't just a company collapse. It was a wake-up call, a reminder that even in high-tech industries, human greed still writes the same old story. Trust betrayed, power abused, and truth buried, until it finally comes out. If you found this story shocking and eye-opening, hit that like button, subscribe for more real business breakdowns, and drop a comment with your thoughts. Was Sam a fraud from the beginning, or a genius who lost control? Stay tuned. More unbelievable business stories are coming soon.